Well, it's good afternoon Thursday here in For the Love of Dragons. Good to see everybody. Araya here, coming to you live as I do every Thursday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I usually like to come on and address your questions. Sometimes we shake it up with mini dragon readings. A couple weeks ago on the equinox, we did a beautiful crystal dragon meditation, which is still very prevalent. So if you have not enjoyed that and taken advantage of it over and over and over again, nightly as you go to sleep, I would highly recommend it. Go back in the archives or go to the YouTube channel under Invoke Healing International. Hello Remington, salut en France. Hello Rhiannon up in the UK. Go back to that Equinox Crystal Dragon meditation. It's right at the end of the recording for about 10-15 minutes. Very prevalent energies right now to stay in, to bring that crystal frequency in. It's going to help with the shift. It's going to help with the integrating, because that's what we're in right now. We are in a big shift. We are in a global, people are calling it a pandemic crisis, all this stuff happening externally. But internally, energetically, this is the doorway we've been waiting for. This is the big thing that we didn't know what it would look like. Hello, Teresa. Hello, Janine. We had no idea, I think for all the light workers on the planet, that we've been seeing a big shift coming. We've been working for it. That's really what our primary focus has been for years and years. And all of a sudden it's upon us, and none of us really had the idea of what it would look like, that it would look like this. And how exciting it is that even though it seems chaotic and a lot of superficial craziness going on, and a lot of us stuck at home and trying to figure out how to do all the work from home and the homeschooling and everything else, or trying to keep ourselves busy because we can't go to work or we can't do our norm. And I'm like, whoa, okay, I can catch up on all these things I've been trying to get to. I sort of wish that was mine. I feel like I'm overwhelmed because I'm very busy, got my same routine and schedule, because all my clients are all virtual all the time. And it seems to be more and more so right now, because people want answers. They want to know what's going on, and they want to connect to their dragons, because it is time to unify. It's time for that integration and coming into the state of union on all levels. So as we are in that, those crystal dragon frequencies are going to be really helpful. So go back in on the dragon playlist on the Invoke Healing channel on YouTube and find from the equinox. I believe it's March 20th. Or you can find the March 20th video in here in the lives, in the video archives, and use it. Use it every night before you go to bed. It's 10 to 12 minutes, and just let yourself fall into it, because those crystal frequencies are what are helping us move forward. So as we move forward, addressing this week's question from a reader whose question was also answered last week. She sent me two. And so I thought, well, I'm going to really hit those because they're very prevalent right now for people. They hold a lot of answers. And I know that if you missed last week's, I had talked about how we can feel connected to starseed information or other galactic beings and still feel dragon, because that resonates with us. And how do those all align? Which is a big, big question for people. And these are coming up right now because we're in that state of unifying, of coming into union both within ourselves, our inner masculine and feminine, but also all of our incarnations in human form, and also merging with our highest light body self. For those of you in this group, you're probably dragon, so those dragon hearts coming forward and working towards that. And so these things come up, they bubble up because we're reintegrating that information. So this question that she asked is a biggie in that, because these memories start coming in and we want to understand them, right? So her question was, it's about this fear of coming out as a dragon, of like realizing and saying, wow, I feel like I'm a dragon, but I'm really freaked out about saying that to anybody because I don't want to be exposed or discovered. It's like being seen or recognized as a dragon. Having that fear about it and not being able to shake that fear about it. And so she had asked, can you shed light on where this originates? Why do I have this big fear? And how do I get rid of it? Do you have any suggestions for getting rid of this fear? And this is a big one. I've talked about it before. Sometimes it's mixed in with other subjects, but that was the biggest thing for me on my journey. Partly why I wrote the book in 2007. The energies were there. I was aligned. My guides and higher self were ready to show me that information and bring it through, because there were some workers on the planet that were ready. There were some people that were ready to really open and slowly graduate and pull that information and energy stream into, hello Crystal, the planet. Well, now here we are in 2020, and about 3 years ago was when really the planet was ready to receive that information fully. And so now it's gone much bigger, and having that there was still a piece of me that needed to be able to merge into myself and receive really a letting go and an understanding of my own fears of coming out and being very publicly a dragon, of being in the spotlight, so to speak. Because as soon as I knew, like, wow, it's time for me to do this full time, and impetus to actually start this group, which was the day before Thanksgiving, 2.5 years ago now, and knowing that, wow, when I do that, I'm going to be front and center. I'm going to have a lot of people watching me. I'm going to have a lot of people going, wow, she's claiming to be a dragon. What the heck does that mean? That resonates with me. Wow, I want to know more about what that means. And the biggest breakthrough for me before doing that was in the 8 to 10 months prior to starting this group. I finally had it come full in my face of, wow, I'm terrified to be shackled again. I'm terrified to be imprisoned and enslaved as a dragon again, because even though my highest self from the dragon realms didn't experience that, I've had soul incarnations, expressions in physical dragon form in different places, and I was shackled, I was chained and imprisoned, or I was held and made to watch my dragon legions or my dragon families tortured, enslaved themselves, all burned to death or murdered. Awful stuff, really awful stuff. So one, we don't want to go into it because it's going to bring up all that yucky, gucky, dense energy of, ooh, what we experienced. And it's ugly and sticky and yucky. And yet it's in there and it has to come to the light of day. It has to move up and out. So there's a fear of seeing it, partially because we're going to remember. We're going to remember really ugly, awful situations. The battles around Orion were awful, and many thousands of us were there and experienced that as dragon. The other piece is that it is like, wow, if I'm seen, I can't go back and have those shackles on again. I can't experience that trauma again of being where I have no freedom, I have no control, I can't do anything, I'm helpless. And many of us have felt that helpless feeling throughout our journey, throughout our life, because when it's in the soul on a traumatic level and hasn't released yet, it plays out in every one of our incarnations where we have this incidents or these events continuously making us feel helpless. Hello, Maria Evan. Hello, Candace. So that's where it originates from. It comes from that actual tangible physical experience when we were dragon in form and went through that. And we're hunted. I mean, there are probably multiple incarnations. Being chased, hunted, having to always defend. Any of those experiences where, boy, you're a dragon, boom, that's negative. I'm coming after you in whatever way, shape, or form. I'm going to have a spear, I'm going to have shackles, I'm going to have a cage, whatever it was, right? So that's where it originates. So suggestions to move through it is working with the black dragons, I would say, calling in your shadow, allowing yourself with your intention and desire. As soon as you open up a heart's desire, you start pulling it towards you. You start pulling the assistance and the guides that will help you to actually unearth it and be willing to dive deep, be willing to remember, be willing to see. And I would say right now, in the time we're in, with all the energies available, that it's going to come pretty readily. You're not going to have to dig too deep. You're already starting to scour just by asking the question. But by being willing to go deep and pull it up, it allows it to just pop out and come to the surface. And then you'll find the courage and the bravery to start admitting it to yourself, admitting it to a small circle, admitting it to a bigger circle. But the biggest piece comes in admitting it to yourself and acknowledging and realizing, like, ooh, I'm a dragon, and one, that's possible. Two, I can admittedly say I trust it because I can feel the voice inside me. But man, it scares me to say that, because that opens up a whole can of worms of people looking at me like I'm crazy, or people thinking, wow, that's just too much for me to handle, and it might push some people away as I expand on my journey. And you know what? As many as it's going to push away, it's going to draw that many more to you. It's going to find your soul family, your dragon family. That's going to be who you need to be around as we move forward in this expansion. And as you do, and you find that confidence in yourself, and you are able to stand tall and proud and unfurl your wings and actually feel your wings again, that's pretty powerful when you get to that. Hello, Genevieve and Denise. When you feel your wings unfurl and you recognize, and you're like, wow, I am standing right here and I'm dragon and there's no shackles on me. And the truth is that they will never be there again. That's when you start to stand in your power, because this claiming, this union state that we're moving to go through the doorway, wisdom, love, and power. We're pulling all of the wisdom of all the incarnations and all the lessons we've learned about power and merging them into ourselves, where we stand in the truth of our power that expands through our heart, and that's through our dragon heart, where we become transparent with a core of fire that burns in the depths of our being for what we know is truth and what we know is our soul purpose, what we're here to do. And as you align to that truth and you stand in your power, you realize that actually you're never going to be helpless again, and you are going to rise above and move beyond that karmic lesson because you've already completed it. Rhiannon's saying, I sometimes can feel a fear that it feels like it would devour me whole. That can be really big. Those fears can be really big because the experiences we had as dragon were very big. Big beings create big energy fields to step back into. They also had very big pockets of relevance in the foundation of what's in the energetic beds of the earth. It does feel big. It feels like a big shadow that is going to eat you alive because it's the deepest shadows. We're in the place now of incorporating and scouring and bringing up the deepest shadows, which have been the furthest thing from our light. And as we get to that, in order to merge them, we're looking at the deep, the dark, the ugly. Many of us on our journey of 15, 20 or more years in a spiritual quest and a spiritual awakening have dealt with a lot of shadow, a lot of emotional traumas, especially family injuries. Most of them in comparison to this have been pretty much lesser degree. Might be some big sobbing, might be depression for a couple of days, might be something that, takes a few hours to feel it all. But I tell you what, the bigness of what happened, it was big, Rhiannon. And because of that, we have gone through the surface layers. You've gone through the lighter ones that are a little easier to deal with. These are the biggest, the darkest, the ugliest, and they're also the ones that are most directly associated and affected by your light body. Your light body is massive, it's powerful, it's ancient, it's wise, and when we are trying to merge with that, everything that you've been opposite to that or experienced opposite to that level of light and integration is going to be the bigger shadows. They're going to be very big, scary, almost overwhelming, because they're the ones we've avoided the longest. We've kept them at arm's length or dragon tail length, which is even further out, right? For a very long time. And we're finally ready to deal with them, or the questions wouldn't be rising. It's not the first person to ask that question. It's not the first time I've talked about it, but it's relevant right now, which is why it needed to be talked about today. So hopefully that will help you. Bring the black dragons in to help you move into that, or just invite your whole dragon family. Go in meditation and say, I feel this. I know I'm dragon. I can feel it. Wake it up within me. Help me to see it. Help me to feel my own wings, my snout, any part of me, my dragon skin. Help me to have those memories and access those memories that I've been wanting to stay away from. And the black dragon is the biggest companion to dive into shadow work. So that is in the book. If you don't know about the book, it's at dragonwithin.com. It's a guidebook to working with the dragons, and there is specific information on how to dive in and invite the black dragon in. There's even a CD track that plays the black dragon mantra and a frequency in the background that you can loop to deepen your meditative state, which will help you go in and connect to that. You're welcome, Rhiannon. Good to see you over in the UK. I know it's late there tonight, so thanks for staying up. And everyone else, whatever questions you have, there's a lot going on right now. A lot of you are finding yourselves at home with time. Dive into the dragons. They are waiting for you. This is your doorway of opportunity. This is our shift. This is the time that's, I wouldn't say run around like it's emergency state, although some of the planet is, right? We're in a state of emergency in many places. take that as a reminder that there is an urgent call. There is a timing associated with the shift. There is a bit of an urgency of, don't waste any more time. Get on board. Get the depth of it scourged out. Go in. Crystal's saying, ever since, hello Belinda, good to see a new face there. Often since I've started working with the dragons, I asked for a pure dragon heart. I'm not even sure what that means. Let me see if I can see the rest of the message here. Well, I'm going to have to read the rest of the comment there later, Crystal. But seeing it as I asked for a pure dragon heart and not even sure what that means. Let me just elucidate that since I'm here and we have time together. Your pure dragon heart is your highest self, your light body, your purest essence when you were created as a soul, straight from Mother, Father, God, straight from the source and creation into your first soul incarnation. The heart that was placed in that being that is your pure dragon heart is made of diamond. I've always called it crystalline, but things are shifting into the purest crystalline form, which is Herkimer diamond. It's flawless. That flawless dragon heart is transparent. It has a core of fire. Transparence is showing us and reminding us how we become authentic when we live in our true self. When we remember and release all of our wounding, we can be purely in unconditional love without judgment. We can embrace and open transparently to the world with everything that we are, with everything that we be, without fear. That pure dragon heart is that essence of transparency, of here I am and I am of God and this is my light. The core of it, a dragon's heart has a core of fire. And it's that ever-present reminder, hello Elaine, of Mother, Father, God's desire for us to always live in our passion. That core of fire is your passion, your desires, your core essence of who and what you be and what you bring to the table. So when you live in your passions and you know, like, wow, I'm really called to this and this makes me sing. It makes for me, as you guys know, you can feel it coming through. My dragon's here present. You can probably see it in my eyes. They always shift when Tana is present with me and I'm fully merged talking about it because I'm passionate. I'm on fire about it. This is my passion, to be a guide for the dragons, to help you wake up to and reconnect to your dragon family, your pure essence. The light that you were coming from Mother, Father, God as source. That light body is what we as humans have been aiming to. This is what the experiment was about, to reconnect with that while in a form of density so far removed from that. Is it possible? That's what we're doing here. It's about bringing that frequency down, unified, in balance, no more separation, no more duality, being in that state of unified balance with ourselves, which aligns us with Mother, Father, God, here present in physical, which means pure dragon heart. I'm aligned and I'm merged, and it allows me to be fully authentic. It allows me to live, breathe, and be totally transparent, totally open-hearted, totally authentic. Which, when that is out in front of us as the carrot or the leading, guiding light, we start to see and be shown the shadows as that light shines in front of us that are all the places where our false beliefs keep us from being authentic. They keep us from being aligned to our highest selves. Whatever they are, they're the little shadows that get in the way and keep us from actually merging with that light. And as we merge with that light, and this is the time of merge, this is the time we're in, there's a lot of energetic support and a lot of unusual things happening that I've been getting information about as far as what is the shift going to look like? How are we moving into that? The fields are magnetizing differently and we're moving into different magnetic resonance. That's new information that just came in a session today. We are actually going to be going through magnetic shifts in our body field as we move into a different template for the earth and her magnetic resonance that's shifting over these next, I would say, 5 to 6 months. It's going to be a nice, gentle thing, but we have to start phasing into it. And it's beginning now. It began January 12th with the big alignment with the Aboriginal ceremonies in Uluru on the big planetary conjunct. Last Sunday was another big conjunct taking us through another level of the doorway. Easter Sunday is going to be another one. We had a full moon this Tuesday, so this week is big. There's a lot happening this week, and that's why some big information has been coming. It's going to complete by the solstice. this is the phase we're in. So Crystal's saying it makes sense, as this is what is always the center of my personal work and my service to others. Absolutely, you're on it, Crystal, and you're welcome. Thank you for being present. And thanks to everybody who's also going to watch the replay. I know that not everybody can hit the time zone, and it's always powerful for me to know and feel the full energy body of the sphere that ends up being part of this energy field. Even though there's a certain number on the actual call, I can see the count, but I know that there's so many more bodies present with that because the energy bodies of everyone is already connecting in. Hello, Pea. I haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you. So with that, this is the time. If you are off work right now or have a home schedule that gives you more time, because you don't have to commute, you don't have to get dressed, you don't have to take so much personal time to get yourself ready, or you just find more freedom because you're more efficient without all the coffee breaks or people around you at work, whatever the situation might be, this is the time to really dive into your journey, to really make time for those things that you've been wanting to do, been feeling the need to do, but maybe haven't set aside the time to do, and dive in. If you don't have the book yet, gosh, I highly suggest it. If you do have the book, or even if you don't, I've got a book club starting in 3 weeks. 3 weeks from today, on April 30th, we are starting the next Dragon Within book club, which many of you know, and some of you are on the call. Hello, Liz. It is, I don't know why I even call it a book club, but we base it on the Dragon Energies, and that is the book that I've written, The Dragon Within. So we have amazing metaphysical discussions about anything and everything connected to dragons and the Dragon Energies, which is a lot of things because the dragons are holding the matrices of this universe in place, right? So it affects everything around us. And so a lot of amazing discussions, and more importantly, amazing meditations. We do a meditation each week for the 6 weeks that brings about some pretty powerful transformation. And Lonnie is saying it's more than a book club. Yeah, Lonnie did the last round, as did Liz. And, Liz did one a couple times ago. It's one of my favorite things to do, because you never know what we're going to talk about every week. It's open format. You can bring your questions. You can ask me, as the author and the Dragon Lady, direct questions, whether it's my experiences or just things that I know, and it leads to some really cool discussions and a connection with Soul Family. Because I guarantee you, every group that comes together has a deeper connection, and they feel the time to jump in. There are people that have been wanting to do a book club, and it's like in the back of their field, and it doesn't work out. The timing's not right. The funding's not there. Whatever it is, they miss 1, 2, 3 opportunities until it's finally their time to dive in. And then they realize that it was so aligned perfectly because the group that they're aligned with is some of their Soul Family members. So that's always a fun thing about it. Hello, Genevieve. Are we allowed to make it more than once? Absolutely. If you're asking me, are you allowed to partake or be a part of the book club more than once? Yes, it's a 6-week format. It's the registration, all the details are in the event, and it's posted in the group. I will post the link in, I'll put it in the description of the video so that you have the link available to get to the event information, which also has the registration information within it. But I do have people that have done the book club multiple times. I think 4 times is the most anybody's done it. But definitely 2 or 3, I've had repeat people quite often. And those people are quite often the ones that go on and end up doing the Eye of the Dragon, the 4-month program, leading into the full Way of the Dragon Heart 8-month program. So just putting it out there because I'm opening the doors, and there's always only 10 spots, and I believe 2 of the spots are already taken. But it's that thing that feeds you every week and just makes you feel like, wow, I've got something coming up that, I'm really amped for, and I'm going to take these questions, and it makes you feel like you're really progressing and going somewhere. And I think this round, because we're in the middle of the energies we are on the planet, is going to be super powerhouse. So I'm excited about it. So that's it for today. Send me your questions by instant message or by email is the best and most expedient way to get them to me, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week. I always love being here, and I love that you guys are here. I appreciate my Dragon family, and I thank you guys so much for always being present, always being ready to listen or put your questions out, because each question that you have, when I can answer it in this way to everybody, there's so many people that benefit from it because they have actually the same questions, but they haven't verbalized it, or it's something that's just rising in their field and they didn't even know was a question yet, but all of a sudden they hear it and they realize they've received an answer or a gift. And so I love that part of it. You're welcome, Jackie. And thanks for being here, everybody. We will see you next Thursday. Bye, everybody. Happy Easter.